All right. So
What's that cool Sleepy Hollow book you have? Oh, it's what is that?
What?
What is that cool Sleepy Hollow?
This is something I'm hoping you guys will sign for me.
Oh wow. Okay, sure.
Really? Hi.
Sure, hi.
Hello. I got this.
What is that? Is that a screener?
Yeah, I got it. It was the Emmy
Oh, this is the Emmy
thing.
screener, right? So awesome. Wow. So cool.
Anyway, yeah.
I'll be
Later.
happy to, for sure.
Awesome. Thank you.
what can you tease about the next season?
Well, we left last season on such a crazy cliffhanger for everybody. We really wanted to do that to put everybody in the worst possible situation and then figure out how we were going to get out of it. So I think one thing we can promise is that there are not going to be any easy answers for how everybody gets out. Last season was plotted with such meticulous care across the board. Everybody, knew where we were going from the beginning, and hopefully we set you up for a good reveal at the end. And we want to do the same thing this year. So there will be a lot of surprises, a lot of new twists and turns. Our cast will find themselves in a bunch of new precarious situations that are going to be very difficult to get out of. But I think you can count on more insanity.
That's good.
Yeah.
So how are you involved in it in season 2? Can you give us anything?
Well, I'm not going to be pregnant. I know that's what you were thinking. Twists and turns, but yeah, it's Kurtzman way.
You don't think they're going to be pregnant?
I knew pregnancy was coming. Impreg, you're killing me. I got locked up. So I'm still, I think, dealing with the aftermath of what that is. And I think that's a tough position for someone who had so much power and would fall from grace so quickly to be. And I don't get to see Mrs. Bamf anymore. I don't get to see. And it's a lot. I'm really emotional about it. I miss you.
How does he deal with it? How does he deal with being locked up?
I think for everybody that's a really individual set of circumstances, because I think there's always the amount of guilt that you feel for how you contributed to your own situation. The things that you think in the night when you're all alone. So, obviously I think it's a really difficult position knowing what he knows now and realizing he didn't act sooner and he was so skeptical. So, I think it's probably more torturous in his own mind than even the place he's in. I think he's in a bit trapped in his own prison. And, I'm curious to see how that will unfold.
Does the tone change in the second season?
No, I think we are certainly striving to stay very consistent with the tone of the first season, and that I think we all wanted to make a show where anything was possible, that was grounded in an emotional reality that allowed everybody to take the leap into the insanity that followed. So I think we're very proud of what we were able to achieve with that, and we would want to change that.
You've been so active with the fandom. Is there a moment coming up in the next season that you can't wait for the fans to see?
Oh, yeah. Is that a real question? Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh, the things I could tell you if I could talk. It's exciting, I think. I think what happens with Lyndie's characters is really, it's exciting just watching the way the characters are unfolding and the story is evolving and the second horseman is here, but in such a complicated way. So, yeah, it's going to be, the live tweets this year are going to be kind of off the chain.
Well, I love how the Mills sisters, I loved in the beginning how they were fighting all the time. Ichabod had to separate them and stuff, and now there's this close kind of bond. Are you going to be the one that sort of figures out how to get Abby out of purgatory, or?
Oh, I can't tell you that. But I can speak to their relationship, and I love how it was a struggle for them to get as close as they were at the end of season 1. I think we worked really hard to get there, and I'm excited to explore that relationship further in season 2. Siblings are so tumultuous at the best of times, so I think that there's a lot of really good stuff there to explore.
Well, one of my favorite scenes was actually when you guys were Rambo'd up, and you went. Are we gonna get to see?
I'm sorry, Rambro.
Rambo'd up. Are we going to see more between Irving and Jenny, possibly? Because I like the chemistry you guys have in working together. What do you think?
I don't know. I'm gonna ask Mark and Alex and Bob about that. That sounds like a really good idea.
I think.
I'm waiting for the scene for when Jenny Booty calls Irving. I'm being honest. I want it to
I've
happen.
asked them to write it so many times. I pitched it.
I'm trying to fit it in. It just doesn't seem organic.
It's. I think really what's special about the show is that the chemistry amongst all of us is really special. The way we interact off camera is not, as our characters obviously different on screen, but I think it's kind of what's special about Sleepy Hollow. So I'm sort of excited for a lot of pairings. I mean, that's one, but just getting an opportunity to be with Ichabod is also an interesting one, and always seeing them together and how Katrina and Abby are together, that's also complicated and juicy. So that's kind of the fun of it, I think.
Well, now is Captain Irving? Is he going to Is he going to get a divorce? Is that going to go through?
You think for 1 second I'm going to tell you something before I tell my wife? You have lost your mind. What is going on here? You're trying to give me a shot. I'm not asking.
I know, really.
Please take this.
No, that's all.
Jill Marie Jones would choke me to death if I tell you. Absolutely not. I think it's obviously complicated in the story, though. I mean, anytime someone goes off to prison, irrespective of how broken the relationship was in the beginning or not, there's still a longing and a feeling of loss, and she knows things that she didn't know before about what's going on, you know what I mean? That she had such an intimate experience with her daughter, so in some ways it's got to be horrific for her as well to sort of have to deal with her husband and his child and all this going on.
Well, what has been the best moment for you guys filming it this season 1? What has been the funnest that you guys had filming? I guess what was the best scene or one of the stunts, whatever? What was one of the best things?
You said season 1.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
season 1. No, I'm not. I won't. No, season 1.
I think for me, it was one of them. There were so many, but the one that popped into my mind just then was the possession scene. Which
Yeah.
was possessed.
It's
Attacking
insane.
Corbin. That was so fun.
Was
The
it?
harness and the makeup. It was funny. I walked onto set and the still photographer, Brownie Harris, I was in this airbrush makeup and he came up to me. He's like, "Oh man, you look exhausted. Did you sleep last night?" Dude, I'm a demon right now.
What did you watch for inspiration for that?
Everything. I've watched horror all my life. Yeah, it's like a bucket list moment for me to play Possessed. Awesome.
You guys do your own stunts, a lot of them, or
As much as we can, but we always have really great stunt people. In fact, I love my stunt girl, Bethany Levy. She looks a lot like me. We go out a lot, and people ask if we're sisters all the time. But I try to do as much as I can, and then she does the really hard stuff.
Lyndie's being modest. She's got. I'm sure you remember the scene where she pulls out 2 guns at the same time. When I saw the videos, I was like, that woman has some training. What is that's unbelievable. She's also apparently got a lot of martial arts training. So
I did do martial arts
quite
for
a lot
many
of-
years, but yeah.
and Orlando's a ninja. I don't know if you knew that.
really? So are you like are you like a high master ninja? I mean,
I believe the ways of the ninja need to stay amongst the ninjas.
so can I become an honorary one?
We will discuss it and take it under advisement. I appreciate your application.
Well, thank you, sir.
Now, when we talked to you
course.
last year, you had some pretty great ideas about where the series is going to go. How has that changed after season 1, or has it?
Well, you always want to kind of know where you're going, broad strokes, to leave yourself a lot of room for surprises along the way. And so far, I would say that it's sticking to plan, but we found a lot of new and interesting surprises along the way for the next season, which has been great. So I think it's going down the same road that it went last season in terms of our pre-planning.
Great.
How far out do you have it? Do you have season 3, 4, 5?
We know where we're going at the end of the season this year, which you always want to think in those terms so that you get to a conclusion that inevitably springboards you into the next season with a lot left to go. So we have not yet worked out all of season 3, but we certainly know what we're setting up.
One of my favorite things about the show is that you guys use history and the past and all that. How do you guys research that? I mean, I think you guys have a secret weapon, somebody that actually lived in Sleepy Hollow, and
we have some researchers actually. And there is there was an assistant who actually lived in Sleepy Hollow, and also maybe has background with the Masons or something like that. So there's quite a lot of research that gets done. But the fun is you take an idea and you build around it, or you take a historical moment that everybody knows and has a frame of reference for, and then our job is to find out the secret part of that story that you didn't know. And you do that by taking as much historical accuracy as you can, building on it, and then inventing the rest.
That's really great. I love that you guys do that. It's awesome.
What are some of your favorite moments during like downtime when you guys are on set but you're just kind of chilling? What do you guys do?
We're in a crazy shoot schedule, so we're together sometimes and other times we aren't. I find everybody really funny. So I kind of enjoy Tom's wit, and Nicole's really silly. So it's just really fun to be with her because she's so silly. And then this one tortures me every opportunity she gets. So
It's my specialty.
oh, she finds all sorts of ways. She'll stand in your eye line and make faces. And she'll ask you if you're really going to do it like that. When you finish the moment, she'll go, "Are you really going to do it like that?" I mean, it was great. Are you really going to do it like that? Like, yeah, she has her ways. So we have a lot of fun together. So I think those interactions are probably the most fun, and they kind of happen, whenever they're happening. Yeah.
All right, guys, we need to move them over to the.
Thank you so
much.
Thank you.